Good evening. Once again, we return to the story of Caius, Spellsword, Dunmer, Eternal Champion, former head of the Blades on Vardenfell, Hortator of the Great Houses, heir of Arene, most loyal servant of the Emperor, champion of Cyrodiil, chosen of Shayagorath, finest courier in Tamriel. And now we are... I seem to remember this quest reasonably well, but I think I'll just read the details.
Something is wrong with the Font of Madness. It won't accept the Staff of Shayagorath and imbue it with the power as described. Perhaps Haskell will know what's wrong with it. The Font of Madness has been poisoned by Order. If it becomes fully ordered, the realm is lost and Jiggalag has won. Haskell suspects that the Order has somehow gained access to the pools of madness that nourish the font. I need to enter the fountainhead beneath the tree and find the source of the poison before it is too late. I've witnessed a Gnarl removing the Order crystals that were poisoning a door here in the fountainhead. It seems that the tame Gnarls here can halt the spread of Order throughout the dungeon. I may be able to use their help as I work my way to the pools of mania and dementia.
Probably should have, Probably should have watched what was going on. Ah. So I know how to identify which is which. I think, anyway. Sorry to do that. I just think I might have tagged one of the friendly Gnarls. Alright, so that's almost certainly hostile.
Just as Haskell suspected, Jiggalag's priests are poisoning the roots of the Tree of Madness. I have cleansed one of the minor pools, but I must find the pools of Mania and Dementia in order to save the tree.
Cool.
I've discovered a chrysalis that generates a tame gnarl cultivator. Perhaps these gnarls can help me halt the spread of order throughout the fountainhead.
So I think a fight's inevitable here. Not sure what happened to the other one, but I'd rather not take more fights than I have to.
I've killed the priests of order who had cursed the pool of dementia, now to cleanse the pool of mania.
Gnarls are still gonna come after me, though. Just need to get my stamina up. Hi. I'm gonna try and follow the markers, but there was a door back there that's kind of tempting. They caught me. I really need to get a repair in. I don't know what's triggering that combat music, but the reason why that thing hit like a truck is because my armor's shredded. Another good reminder why I don't use the souls right away. I want to try and approach from the shadows if I can.
Strike me now.
Done. Sacre bleu. Yeah, they caught me. I'm gonna try and avoid the fight. So I wanted to try at least one shard of order on the door to see if that would work. And it did, so that's useful information for the next time. I am a little worried I'm in the wrong spot for... Oh, somebody spotted me. Leave my friend alone. Again, if I can avoid the fight, I will. If I can get the drop on one, then it's only 2 or 3 priests I need to deal with.
Have you come to join us? Or simply die?
So I think I have one invisible priest that I need to deal with still.
No more. No more. Instead, he is dead at your hand and Shayagorath's command. When I swore allegiance to Jiggalag, my eyes were opened. I saw who my true enemies were for the first time. Order's time has come. The Grey March is upon you. Where is Shayagorath? Jiggalag Jigalag will never be turned.
I've killed the priests of order who had cursed the pool of mania. The traitor Syl was among them. Now that I've cleansed both pools and that feed the font of madness, I should be able to imbue the Staff of Shayagorath with power.
Always a pleasure.
I've immersed my staff in the font of madness. I have gained the power of Shayagorath.
My lord, our Mazel Zuda sent me to find you. She requests your immediate assistance.
What does she want?
I don't know, my lord. She only said it was a matter of the gravest import to the security of the realm.
The captain of my palace guard needs my assistance at once. The messenger didn't know any details, but it sounds urgent.
I am, however, going to request the construction of some amber armor pieces.
My lord, I'm glad to see you. We have a developing situation that requires your attention.
What is it?
Order. An obelisk has activated just outside the palace. I've ordered my Orioles to engage the enemy. I expect that this is the beginning of the final assault. The cursed usurper Jigalag himself may even take the field before the end. What are your orders, my lord?
I will lead the attack myself.
It will be our great honor to fight by your side, my lord.
The captain of my palace guard has informed me that an obelisk has activated in the palace courtyard. It seems that Order is launching its final attempt to take control of the Shivering Isles. I need to defeat Jigalag and his minions once and for all. Second obelisk is activated. I need to shut it down to stop the knights from overwhelming the defenders.
You're in big trouble when I get back up. trying to see if there's any way to get fatigue.
No danger, Prince. This ends as it always does. Order shall reign. Another of Shayagorath's Your staff does not make you a Daedra, foolish mortal.
No!
The second obelisk has activated. I need to shut it down to stop the knights from overwhelming the defenders.
Sorry. So I'd love to find out what Voice of Shayagorath does.
But you are no Daedric prince. This ends as it always does. Order shall reign. Another of Shayagorath's foolish schemes. Enough! For millennia, this drama has unfolded, and each time, I have conquered this land, only to be transformed back into that gibbering fool, Shayagorath. It was not always so. Once I ruled this realm, a world of perfect order. My dominion expanded across the seas of Oblivion with each passing era. The other princes, fearful of my power, cursed me with madness, doomed me to live as Shayagorath, a broken soul reigning in a broken land. Once each era, I was allowed my true form, conquering this world anew. And each time I did, the curse was renewed, damning me to exist as Shayagorath. Now, though, you have ended the cycle. You now hold the mantle of madness, and Jigalag is free to roam the voids of Oblivion once more. I will take my leave, and you will remain here, mortal. Mortal, king, god, it seems uncertain. This realm is yours. Perhaps you will grow to your station. Fare thee well, Shayagorath, Prince of Madness.
Jigalag has spoken to me and told me the Grey March has ended and the forces of order have retreated. Haskell will likely know how I should proceed.
Always a pleasure. You've done it! Well done, Lord Shayagorath. I never doubted you for a moment. Now, of course, there is business to attend to. As you have assumed the mantle of Shayagorath, there are matters that deserve your attention. As Lord of this realm, there are a number of benefits to which you are entitled, as well as a number of duties to which you must attend.
Tell me about the duties.
Your first duty is to attend to the needs of your subjects. You will find that there are constant threats to the residents of the Isles. Your job is to protect them, either by dealing with the matter yourself or sending your armies to take care of it for you.
Tell me more about defending the realm.
It seems all is peaceful in the Shivering Isles, my lord. Will wonders never cease? It seems all is peaceful.
And the benefits?
You may request any of the Golden Saint or Dark Seducer escorts at the castle to accompany you. They will defend you to the death. You may also summon entertainment to your throne room. Your predecessor found this most invigorating. Speak with me if you wish entertainment. You also have the ability to affect the weather in your realm. As it is an extension of yourself, it will often have an effect on you as well. You also have the benefit of Shayagorath's protection. Cast this upon yourself, and if your life is threatened, you will be returned to your castle. Many of these abilities, Lord, are rooted in the magics of the Isles. Should you choose to leave this realm, they will not likely function.
Anything else to say about defending the realm?
It seems all is peaceful in the Shivering Isles, my lord. Will wonders never cease?
Tell me more about entertainment.
You wish entertainment, my lord?
Not at the moment.
Of course, sire.
Alright, so I guess that's the end of the main quest. Let's try and deal with a few loose ends.
Your humble servant, my lord.
At your command, Lord Shield.
Alright, so it's a Greaves and Helmet. So speed and strength.
What can you possibly see in her? She spends more time cutting herself than swinging a hammer. How can I help you? Want some help putting these on?
That's fine.
How can I help you? You know what they say about the size of a man's forehead, right?
Can't say I do. Oh.
Goodbye. Welcome back. I can make just about... Always a good idea to protect yourself. I can help with that. You've got a good... You've got a good deal. You've got a good... That's a good deal. Are you trying to take advantage? That offer's not... I'm cursed with ugly... Seems a fair bargain to me. That's a good deal. Seems a... That's a good deal. Seems a fair... You've got a good deal there. That seems fair to me. You've got a good deal there. I can accept that. You've got a good deal there. Seems a fair... You've got a good... I can accept that. You've got a good deal. That's a good deal. I can accept. Seems... That's a good deal. Seems a... That seems fair to me. If you need anything else, you know where to find me.
So we're getting closer, but I still, Actually, that's not true.
Happy customer is a returning customer.
I may need to stop by Bruma just to drop off my items. Actually, honestly, I think that's most of the quests I need to do.
Shayagorath.
So I will stop by Bruma just to
Yes? What is it?
drop off the excess. But there may not be that much left for me in the Shivering Isles to do either. Let's try out some of my new powers. What? Just in the, on the odd chance there's a crash. So I should just mention, it's quite likely that this will not be a full-length episode. I do want to take care of my affairs in Cyrodiil before I commit to anything else inside of the Shivering Isles. But I also need to make sure that, like, I don't necessarily, just because something's in a quest log doesn't mean that I'm going to do it automatically. So this, with that transition, I'm probably going to stop and fight a little bit more until we have the top level of the, or until the thirst is quenched. That'll be a little bit of a pain in Cyrodiil, but not insurmountable.
Oh!
Oh, you know what? I think because the weapon got switched, it doesn't count all the kills, so this is a weaker version of the weapon. That's a shame.
Well,
Stay away from me. You already spent too much time over there.
Oh, you have no idea. It's been a while since we've been back to Cyrodiil, so it's, you know, even though it looks a little more, traditional, it's a nice change of pace. That's a rock. Miss me? I'm gonna probably have to get up and get down. Well, we'll see what happens with the encumbrance. Ideally, I don't have to hop off my horse to deal with it. If I do, it's gonna be a little bit of a pain. Ugh.
It's you. Hi.
So I did say I was going to try and get some kills for the sword, but my first question right now is actually about my strength. So I want to see if I have to get off the horse to renew that, or if it's just going to accept it as time goes by. Or, like, because I'm on the horse already. It could be that the fact that I'm over-encumbered while on the horse might actually be the reason it crashed. I'm just going to save as a precaution. Okay, so this means that I'm not going to be getting off my horse until I'm at Bruma. I mean, it's not my realm. I'm not cleaning out the riffraff anymore. very obsessive with the saving here just because I really do not want to wind up in a situation where we go all this way back just to drop off some items. I realize it's not the most exciting to see someone do a delivery, but tried to keep the number of journeys out to Bruma to a minimum. I think so far I've avoided taking any damage on my horse. This very special milestone. I know the base game too well. All right, so it's very tempting to keep Never Shatter because it would be nice to try and get some practice on blunt weapons, but 30 to 9 is a really tough call. Alright, now at this point, I think I've read all of the books in my inventory. Huh. I was really expecting I wouldn't be carrying as much. Alright. I seem to remember I had an area where I put reagents as well. Well, maybe I should. I could have sworn that I put my, right, I think that's as light as I'm gonna get it until I start selling some scrolls.
How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
Rejoice through faith, your afflictions are banished. You make Father Akatosh proud.
Alright, so, as mentioned before, if I get a chance to take some things out, I'm gonna take it. I actually need to see the thing before I fight it. I'm not gonna go hunting. Sorry, just 1 second here. Okay, sorry about that. Recording this a little bit later than I was expecting, so Really? That's the one you complain? Ah! I was just about to save. You know what? I actually don't care enough about getting the superior version of this to waste this much time redoing fights. So as much as I hate doing this, because I realize it's basically just, half an hour of watching me go to and from locations, we're gonna run past all of the enemies just because it's a waste of time otherwise. Good lord. I was waiting for the combat music to end and then save, but it seems like just when I'm about to hit escape, it does result in a crash. Okay, I'm gonna save, and if you can just give me a second, I think I need a minute to my to deal with something. Yeah, I apologize for this. I did forget one thing. I'm just dealing with it right now. So I may have one more interruption before I wrap up, but I'll try and keep it short. It's great to see the lightning off of the water and all those little details. Looks really good at night. Alright, now we had Sickly Bernice's flask. It occurred to me, so Naughty Bramble is actually not a bad place for me to go. I'm pretty sure it was Naughty Bramble. Yep, Naughty Bramble. So I may want to try and find some things to take out quickly, but I suspect I'm going to have the weaker sword for the next little bit. So I think probably the way I'm going to handle this is we will head to Naughty Bramble. We'll take care of what we need to there. And it seems like most of what I need to do would be in the city anyway. So I'll maybe do a case-by-case evaluation of what I want to accomplish. I'm pretty sure one of them involves me trying to steal something. So I'm less inclined to do it, but I am kind of curious about the defense of the realm, so... I figure at this point this is a lot more about just getting the lives and also getting a direct path to the antidote. I mean, if I get the chance, I'll recharge, but it's not as critical. Excuse me. wish I could block like these Grumites. Oh! At least this one has a shield, so it's a little more defensible, but the one with a single one-handed weapon, not so much. Surprise. It wore off in the last second.
You fill the empty flask with Aqua Nostrum.
Later, nerds. Oh, no. Oh, sorry. I need to run very quickly. I apologize. It should only just be a couple minutes. Alright, sorry about that. There'll be one more interruption because I decided to put the kettle on. Given that I am running all over the place. Alright, now one thing I'm interested in trying is oh, revive. That's a bit different. Okay. So I'm gonna have to do the old-fashioned, walk the old-fashioned way. Fair enough. I'm getting scared now. Okay, kettle's boiling. Back in a sec. So I should be with you for the rest of the broadcast now. Never really did find out what was the point of all this.
Marine rests with the knowledge that her death provides much gossip.
Did you bring back my aqua nostrum?
I did.
Thank you so much again. Here is a small bit of change for your time. Take care.
Have you found anything for me?
The crisis is over.
Let me know when you have something for me. Not much time left, I'm afraid. Not much time at all. Take care.
What?
Hang on.
Hi.
Whoa. Okay. Maybe we'll just leave that be then. Wait, it's noon and it's closed?
Welcome to the Museum of Oddities, Lord Shayagorath. I have collected all the wonders of your lands here. I'm always looking for new oddities to add to my collection. Anything
Seeing as I
unusual,
emptied my,
bizarre, strange, or disturbing, bring it to me.
Seeing as
I do pay a nominal finder's fee, but of course the real reward is your contribution to posterity. Do you have anything that you'd like to contribute to the museum? Oh my, that is odd. I've never even heard of such a thing before. We'll find a nice place for it here in the museum. Have you found a new oddity that you'd like to contribute to the museum?
Yes, the Houndstooth Key.
What a perfect little oddity. Just strange enough that it makes you go, but not so strange as to become a miracle or an omen. Thank you.
Tell me more about Ushnar.
I'd love to have one of Ushnar's old dogs for my museum. They're very interesting. His new dog, though, it can be mean. He's trained it to attack cats and anyone that tries to take its food. I pity the poor Khajiit that tries to steal dog food from Ushnar. See you later.
I am honored.
Una Armina was pleased with the Houndstooth Key that I brought for her museum. I should bring her any new oddities that I find.
You haven't seen that filthy cat beggar, have you? Take... Care.
At your command, Lord Shayagorath.
Yes, what is it?
Yes, is there something you require?
Anything about the defense of the realm?
There are intruders at the gates of madness. Perhaps you'd care to intervene? I'm sure the gatekeeper can handle it otherwise.
Send the guards.
I'm sure that won't be necessary, Lord. Your gatekeeper can handle it, I'm sure. You wish entertainment, my lord?
I do. Bring in a dancer.
As you wish.
Your humble servant, my lord.
Oh, here, I thought it was going to be like a jester. Alright. I think that is going to be the end of our journey. So, as is usually the case, I'm going to do a bit of a debrief on it, but I figure I'm in the court of the Mad God, so we can keep this going on in the background while I talk about it.
But I am going to use my own voice, so
thank you.
In terms of things that I've left undone, so unless I go on some more adventures, I'm not going to be able to find more oddities. I'd love to find more matrices, but I felt the game was a little bit stingy on those. I'm actually going to talk about that later. Ajiza, it seems to be that at least the Amulet of Disintegration was in the Museum of Oddities, and I didn't really want to plunder the Museum of Oddities. Seeking your roots, I thought I had 30 Nirn root, but the game sort of misled me. And then, was it the Collector? No, yeah. So the Collector and a Venerable Vintage, I just didn't really feel the need to follow up with those. And Horse Armor we tried to do, but couldn't. So as far as most of the quests that I did were either ones that I didn't want to complete, or ones that I couldn't complete for reasons that were outside the game. Doesn't mean that there weren't quests that I could have gotten elsewhere. I'm sure there's a lot of this game that I haven't seen for myself, but I think this is a good place to finish it. So what did I think of the Elder Scrolls for Oblivion? I would actually say that there was a period of time in which I would have said unambiguously, this is my favorite Elder Scrolls game. I think it's worth remembering that I started playing the Elder Scrolls Arena, and when I had played it, I had done, a little bit of Skyrim, and I generally found Skyrim very hard to get into. I felt that I was sort of on a treadmill of quests that, I would start with, dragons are coming back and the world's coming to an end. Oh, but by the way, could you deliver my mail? And then I'd sort of run around and I would kill a dragon, but then, 10 minutes later, a bear would come and just demolish me. So it was hard for me to get into the story. I didn't quite appreciate everything that was going on. Actually, one of the funny things is that I don't think it was about Skyrim, but there was a game similar to it, or maybe it was Skyrim. I can't remember. But there was a time that I was really bothered by the fact that you could be a mage in heavy armor, because I had always conceived of mages as things that were restricted on armor. So it's fair to say that I really didn't appreciate what the Elder Scrolls was trying to do. And I thoroughly enjoyed the Elder Scrolls Arena. I actually feel that that game, because there were things like holidays that would, they would give me a chance to get some really good deals on items. So I would go to a tavern and pick up a little bit of side work to go and, and just not get too far away from the town in order to be able to take advantage of the, the sale. And that sort of made me a little bit more inclined to the idea of, oh, okay, so I'm opting into certain adventures. Just because an adventure appears in front of me doesn't mean that I need to, maybe we'll go for something like this. Yeah. I tried. I think I'm going to see my decapitated model. But yeah, there was just, I think that sort of primed me for the experience. I thought I loved the ambition of Daggerfall, but I definitely found some of the dungeons were very unpleasant. The ending I thought was very cool. That does also end in the realm of Shayagorath. And but it was incredibly opaque. I definitely needed to use some guides near the end, and I'm not 100% sure the game really equipped me to understand, how to solve it. So I think Daggerfall was one that I admired in terms of ambition a little bit more than I actually enjoyed the experience of playing. I was really into it at the start, and then it sort of diminished. Now, Morrowind was wonderful. In terms of fully realized 3D world of the Elder Scrolls, I thought it was decent. There are definitely a few things that sort of were a little tedious to go through, but I think overall it was neat to kind of go from a series which I was quite indifferent to be able to play, to kind of see the style of game that I'm going to be more familiar with, because obviously Elder Scrolls looks a lot more like Morrowind. Like now it looks a lot more like Morrowind than it does Arena, is sort of what I'm trying to say. And again, I thought it was interesting. It was a neat story. I enjoyed kind of running through it. And this is probably a reflection of the mods, because in the end, for Morrowind and Oblivion, I've tried to load in mods that there seemed to be some consensus that it retained the experience of the original game while sort of visually improving it. I've definitely really enjoyed going through the world of Oblivion. So in addition to telling, a story that I was interested in and just kind of having a bunch of experiences in this world, it was sort of a feast for the eyes. It was a world that I really enjoyed running around in. And so it was incredibly disappointing once the crashes started happening. The crashes actually got to a point where there were periods where I was really not enjoying the game anymore. And I think that's such a shame, because there's these moments, I felt a little bad during some of the videos, because there were moments where I enjoyed just going through Cyrodiil, seeing the rain, and just being able to experience the province. The Elder Scrolls has definitely become something where I have a better understanding of the world, and that'll include, some of its mythology. There's obviously some creation myths inside of the game. There's accounts of what happened in the games, which of course Caius, the character who's been the same through all of them, will have some opinions on. And this is a game that I very much enjoyed sort of being in the world for, and I think that's very much in line with what the intention was, which was to kind of give people that tabletop experience, in a video game. So the idea that you can just go off wherever you want, and there'll be something for you to experience. Now, I think the things that kind of diminish the expectation, the experience, obviously the crashes, but I don't want to spend too much time talking about that. I thought I was using a pretty standard set of mods, but it's clear for one reason or another, the experience, I was having troubles in the game. Although I was delighted that the Shivering Isles seemed to not have those same problems. One thing I did notice was that because I very much enjoy the process of finding new things to do or having new experiences, I did enjoy being able to sort of run off into a cave and have something happen. But I think I ran into the same problem I've run into in a couple of the games, which is that I just wind up so wealthy and I have such powerful artifacts that there's really no reason to participate in a lot of the game anymore. It was very clear after a while that, having enemies appear on the road was more of a distraction than sort of an experience that I would be talking about and wanting to go on. And then eventually too, just, oh, hey, I found a new cave. Well, originally I'd want to go in and see what's going on there. But it was pretty clear after a while that there was really no benefit to doing that. And what it would probably entail would just be a bunch of fighting for, you know, an unclear benefit. And so in that sense, I kind of felt like Oblivion might have outstayed its welcome. I think it's the combination of those two things that... it's the combination of that and the crashes that really actually kind of created a little bit of a valley of despair, particularly along the Knights of the Nine quests, because it was very difficult for me to see what the Knights of the Nine was giving me that was different from the main quest that I'd gone on. Now, the main quest I actually quite enjoyed. I know Valiant Cheese, who may be watching, talked a little bit about his reaction to the main quest, and I did think it was sort of interesting. I think his point, and my apologies if I'm misrepresenting it. Cheese, if you're in chat, obviously you can, you know, I'm assuming at some time in the future you'll be able to defend your own view, but it's the idea that to a certain extent you are a witness to events larger than yourself. Obviously that final battle with Martin, that's not something that you're necessarily the one to defeat the great evil with. And what I was delighted by, and this has actually tended to happen over a number of games, that there are little decisions that I made for this character way back in Arena that are, you know, that are like they're kind of coming back, and they're little reminders. So, for instance, sort of the patron deity of Caius has been Akatosh. So the fact that it, you know, I guess I suppose I may be describing this wrong, but I guess that Martin becomes the avatar of Akatosh in order to be able to stop the invasion once and for all. You know, I just really liked how that stuff lined up, and I've noticed over time in this game those kinds of references are coming up more and more, and I think it's just because they have got a pretty clear idea of what this world is. And so if I had picked someone else, you know, I probably would just be kind of finding these threads in other places. But I definitely enjoyed that. Some of the Daedric quests were kind of interesting as well, although I sometimes feel a little bad about doing the like really evil stuff. But I don't know, I suppose that's one of the things that Elder Scrolls is trying to do, which is like you don't have I guess you have like your fame and infamy, but you know, you do not necessarily need to be the purest, cleanest hero, and you know, sometimes being able to do things for the Daedra may assist you in your quest, which is what I think the intention behind making you give up a Daedric artifact is, because I think Azura's Star is actually a pretty decent one that maybe you don't want to give up to Martin. So overall, I thought the main quest was quite decent. I do kind of question, I don't know if it counts as like the difficulty curve or exactly what, but I definitely felt that I'd sort of outpaced the rewards to the game to a point that you know, opening chests really ceased to mean anything. And it did feel that for some encounters, the fights were really more about going through the motions. I also tend to think now, I can remember that in the earlier games, I would use magic in interesting ways. So I would set up walls and I would levitate. And obviously in a game like this, you know, the technological advancement is something that's allowed me to like really love these environments and like enjoy the experience of sort of walking through the province of Cyrodiil. But of course, that technology comes at a price. Like the idea of just being able to erect new walls on the map, that is just so much harder than something like an arena. And then of course the even levitation now I think is gone. So I can completely understand those restrictions. Unfortunately, I do feel that some of the clever uses of spells, so I have a spell book full of things, but what did I really use them for? Well, you know, fireballs, soul capture, an occasional buff on my stats, but the whole idea of like draining fatigue or like trying to come up with interesting combinations to you know, realize certain effects on enemies, all of that's, you know, gone. And to a certain extent, some of that was never in the Elder Scrolls, but I have been playing Divinity Original Sin a little bit, the first one. And the idea of just being able to sort of chain these combinations that, you know, if you're fighting in a wet area, to be able to cast a lightning bolt might actually cause a much larger stun than, you know, trying to cast fire when everything's kind of already damp, and so it's less likely that it's going to catch fire. I may be getting spoiled by that, but I sort of feel like the magic system in the Elder Scrolls probably could have ambitions along those lines, but it doesn't quite deliver. And it's a shame because to a certain extent that does represent a step back from how I interacted with the earlier games. Now, all of these comments, and I actually also kind of like the fact I really did want to become a little bit more involved in the guilds. I think I've always become the head of the Mages Guild in the games, so there are a few things that I wanted to continue on. I also love the fact that I got the Ogma Infinium again, because I think every game... I guess I didn't get one in... was it Morrowind? I don't know if the Ogma Infinium was in Morrowind. Anyways, it's Caius's book. I kind of feel like if, you know, I mean, I guess when Hermaeus Mora showed up, I kind of had a suspicion that the Ogma Infinium might be coming up, but I guess I didn't know Hermaeus Mora was in this until the quest sort of dropped out of the sky. I think I'd finish. Maybe Hermaeus Mora reaches out if you do all the quests. I can start reading this stuff up now, I guess. Anyways, I wanted to sort of say, so all of this has kind of been focused on the main game. So the thing is that I do want to say that I do think this is probably the best game that I've played in the series so far. And I do think that some of this is a reflection of the fact that, by and large, I do tend to think that games get better over time. So that is to say that, you know, unlike a movie where, except in very rare circumstances, you have to make everything from the beginning again, games seem to be able to build on some prior works. Obviously, there's like some books that have been in this game since at least Daggerfall that kind of keep getting reused. And then the technology underlying the game, but also just the simple idea of being able to like try to solve certain design problems. Because it's obvious that it's not the same technology running Arena as Oblivion, but I sort of think that there's a certain number of things that Oblivion has been able to inherit from its predecessors. Whereas again, if you're making a sequel to a movie, you know that you kind of want to be able to capture that same experience for an audience. But, you know, again, you're creating all of that. Again, if you're reusing footage from the previous movie, people are very likely going to notice. So in the case of this, like this is, I don't mean to make this a dogmatic view or anything. It's not to say that all sequels will be superior to their predecessors, but I do have a bit of a feeling that because so much of the experience that I liked was just being able to sort of live in the world of Nirn, specifically in Cyrodiil. I mean, I guess I wasn't on Nirn for this, but to be able to live in the world of the Elder Scrolls. And to be able to experience it the way that I had here was a very large part of that experience. And obviously, it's the technology that's enabling that. But also, too, just a few things about the systems I sort of liked a little bit more. There are also some things that I thought were a real drag. I'm not 100% sure what exactly determines if you get stunned, but I kind of feel like the enemy blocking me would cause me to get stunned. Me blocking the enemy would sometimes stun them, but it would also sometimes lead me to be staggered so much that they would get 2 or 3 attacks on me. And I mean, I'm at maximum strength. I'm at, I've definitely kind of maxed out a lot of my skills. And again, I think that contributed a little bit to the combat feeling a bit tedious. And I sort of, again, if I could do some more variety in the magic, maybe that would have been something to help me out. And maybe it's possible, but I never discovered some of the variety that would have made those spells interesting. I know in the case of like the Gnarls, if you alternate between 2 different attack types, but it's such a pain to just, switch between the 2 that I didn't really find it worth it. Now, the Shivering Isles, I thought this blew me away. Like, if I could have just focused my comments entirely on the Shivering Isles DLC, it'd be very, very positive. It crashed less, which is really important. The environment is absolutely gorgeous. As much as I enjoyed going around Cyrodiil, seeing everything in here was just something else. And the story was interesting. I'll admit, maybe I'm just kind of slow. I did not see Shayagorath being Jiggalag as a twist. The side quests I didn't mind. A couple of them were more like, I think, what was it? Having to pick up the Aqua Nostrum again. I'm like, really? Out of all of them, this is the one you're making me do again? So there's a couple of things like that. I do sometimes feel that the game sort of drags you around the island maybe a little more than it has to. But, I mean, the island is interesting to look at. So, in fact, if anything, I would say on this one, it would have been nice to sort of have been prodded to maybe go around a little bit more. I think that's probably what the curios are about, or like the Museum of Curiosities is about a bit more. But there's a certain point where I don't want to be too... the purpose of this is to have the playthrough of the game, something that I consider to be sort of a satisfying conclusion of the session, as opposed to sort of this 100% of everything inside the game. So I'm not entirely sure. I kind of feel like I'm not that interested in running around the Shivering Isles looking for all the curiosities. I'd probably use a wiki for it if I wanted. And it also feels like a little bit of a strange thing to do, having just become Shayagorath. But it's story-wise, especially the main quest for this. Actually, the one thing I will say is, I guess I should mention this. So this DLC was ever so close to actually making it interesting to find loot again. And it just completely failed to give me any amber matrices. So, I'm wearing 2 items of amber armor, having now completed the full DLC. I got no shortage of madness matrices, got no shortage of madness ore, but amber was incredibly difficult to find. And very often when I did find it, the amber was easy to find. The amber matrices were difficult to find. And often when I'd find them, they'd be for things that I wouldn't use, like hammers. So that I was a little annoyed by, but then again, we also got this weapon, which again, I think there's a few... They're not exactly glitches, but I think there's a few ways that mechanic is handled, which made it a little more frustrating to work with. But that's life. Again, I don't want to be too petty in terms of the criticisms, because this is definitely something that I enjoyed very much. But yeah, the story definitely kind of it went to places where I wasn't expecting, which I kind of enjoyed. I was invested in terms of what was happening. Like I said, it was a fascinating area to run around. And I think one of the things I liked the most was the conclusion, to sort of learn about Jiggalag and this idea that he's, allowed to realize his true form every once in a while, and Shayagorath is effectively kind of the broken version of him. That I liked a lot. And especially just because of this idea of Order becoming such a large threat that the rest of the cosmos needs to, or feels the need to deal with it. And it's sort of manifesting that way. And even just simply the idea, the realms of mania and dementia. To me, it's kind of easy to want to do the mania stuff because it's the fun side of madness, I guess. But dementia was actually an interesting and well-realized area, and I became a bit more attached to it than I necessarily thought that I would be. And I think that runs through a lot of this DLC. I actually just tend to feel like there's a little bit more going on here, where in the base game, sometimes I sort of feel like it was a lot of material that was given to me because part of the Elder Scrolls games is just giving you a lot of material. So I don't necessarily get all that excited about having 10 caves that will give me more gold and weapons, because I'm going to get to a point where I'm at like maximum armor, and I just know like the rewards for that just don't mean anything. I will, however, be interested in 3, to take those 10 away and to replace it with 3 that tell me more about the world, or that give me a unique item, or that, give me something sort of special. For me, that lines up very well with my particular preferences, and so as a result, I feel like the Shivering Isles, in addition to just being a very strong DLC, I think it was maybe a little more aligned with some of the things I was interested in. And again, there were a couple of things that were a little frustrating. Like, I feel like I never quite got a handle of exactly how the obelisks work, because it would feel like they would sometimes reopen after I put 3 in. And, like some of the weight stuff I needed to deal with. Some of the combat was a little, meh. But again, like, I wouldn't, if those were, like, if that was the critique I had of the main game, I would be saying, the main game is, easily my, number 4 is easily my favorite of the Elder Scrolls. There were more problems than just that. Whereas in the case of the Shivering Isles, really the stuff that didn't work for me were more just kind of nuisances, as opposed to, this is actually really making me feel like playing this as a drag. I mean, in fairness, I'm probably inclined to say that the 4th game is probably my favorite so far. But I say that with a very heavy caution. Like, I almost do so under protest, because number 4 was very close to losing me partway through, and the Shivering Isles just absolutely like knocked it out of the park. I was utterly fascinated by this DLC, and I very much enjoyed playing it. In fact, I would say, if you've not played this, being able to experience the Shivering Isles is probably reason enough to play the Elder Scrolls 4. So overall, this is great. I'm actually very, very glad that I've done this series, because I've definitely become quite a fan of the Elder Scrolls. I think I enjoy it, and I understand it quite a bit better now. So whether or not, if you've had trouble getting into Skyrim, I don't know if I can recommend that you play it from Arena up to Skyrim to be able to enjoy Skyrim, because I haven't done Skyrim, right? But at least for me, the time spent has been rewarded by a greater appreciation of what is a very unique and I think very interesting game series. But I think we have come to the end of our time in number 4. So I thank you very much for watching. This will probably mean that I will not have some Tuesday videos to upload for a while. I probably could actually stand a little bit of a break, because I've noticed that these videos I've been recording later and later in the evenings. But if I have an idea about something to do next, I will try and find a way of announcing it. I will probably I'll probably telegraph in advance when a new series of videos is coming out. So, if it's something like, an extra cultist simulator, I'll say that. If I'm doing a different series, because definitely some people have recommended some things that they would like to see, and I don't want to rule those out. So with that in mind, I could, I'll make sure that I sort of say, hey, this is what's coming up, and this is when I'm gonna start it. But I think I could probably just handle a little bit of a break now. Either way, I do thank you very much for watching, and for those of you who are maybe just coming in the tail end, I will say that this has been
the story of Caius, Spellsword, Dunmer, Eternal Champion, most loyal servant of the Emperor, former head of the Blades on Vardenfell, Hortator of the Great Houses, Nair of Arene, finest courier in Tamriel, champion of Cyrodiil, Archmage of the Mages Guild, the Grey Fox, former agent of the East Empire Company, chosen of Shayagorath, Duke of Mania, and now the Mad God himself. Have a great evening. We'll see you next time.